Hey everybody, welcome to Sew with Joe. Today we're picking up where we left off last time, working on my blanket project, using all super old material. Let's get into it. Got the red thread going. Long couch needle. And my red thread. And as per usual, start in the middle and work our way to the edges. Corners, I should say. First stitch in. Has begun. So today in Good World News, slightly different topic today. So I think everybody who'd be watching this channel would probably be sitting there wondering, or thinking, it's great what all these other places are doing to improve the world, but what can I do? So I'm going to give you the gift of knowledge today. The gift of knowledge today is going to be how you can help with climate change. Or I should say more specifically, to move climate change in a more positive direction rather than one that's going to end up everybody having really good tans in the future. So, what can you do? Well, what you can do, and there's a lot of things I hadn't thought of. A lot of things I hadn't thought of. It's not just, buying a more fuel-efficient vehicle, which may not be environmentally friendly because you have to think of the carbon footprint going into that new vehicle. There's a lot of things you can do other than that. And the first one that I hadn't thought of, and it absolutely makes sense, because when you think of any topic, you got to think of where's the money? Where's the money coming from? Where's the money going to? Who's involved? Because it's not the most positive thing to focus on, but the world is run by money. And which is weird because money isn't real. Anyway, that's an entirely different topic. Water today. Cheers. So, what can you do with regards to money? Well, you can choose a bank which makes green decisions. A lot of places now have green banking options where you can invest in environmental projects and causes and products and that kind of thing. So if you put all the money into greener investments, then those companies are going to thrive more. And that will help climate change through their actions. Also, going along with the banking, your investments and your pension. If your company is involved in a pension that isn't agreeing with your moral standards, you can go and talk to the people in charge of your pension and see what they can do. Another thing you can do is just start eating more fruit and vegetables. Preferably local. And this is actually tying into another point that I had written down later on, so I'll just tie this all together in one. For your produce, try to buy locally and in season. The key here is keeping transportation down. So if we have to bring in fruit from the coast when it's out of season here, that is costing a lot of fuel. And I know you're thinking, well, it's just going to sit on the shelf and rot. However, over time, if the stores see that that's what is happening, they'll bring in less produce, and that's where the savings will be. So it's basically the choices that you make and that people make as a whole will shape what the bigger companies do, and we're seeing that. You know, people are more environmentally conscious, so you're seeing a lot of more environmentally conscious businesses. Because they're being run by people who are more environmentally minded, and their customers are more environmentally minded. It's a shift in attitudes and a shift in behaviors over time. Can't do it all at once. It's a long process, and it's one thing I was talking about in a previous episode is that you know, the world is turning around. You know, from when I started becoming environmentally conscious in the 90s till now, there have been massive improvements. There's also been massive problems, but in a lot of the issues that have been identified, there have been major advancements and major improvements, and those I've been talking about with you on this channel. It's been really, really great discovering all these things. Sorry, I'm gonna drink water here again. So eat more fruit and veg, in season, local, grow your own. That's another point that I had here is grow your own. Grow your own everything. Whatever you have the ability to produce on your own, especially like herbs. Herbs are so incredibly expensive when you go to the stores and buy them in those little containers. One thing, go to a bulk store for your herbs. If you're not, you know, if you just want to save some money and you can't grow your own, go to a bulk store. Usually at least half the cost, if not less, for buying herbs. And then you can buy some containers, some glass containers to keep everything in. So that you don't always have to dispose of the little herb containers that you buy all the time, because you get, you know, a handful of herbs for $10 and you get a container with it, which is waste. So you can make a lot of improvements just in your herbs. But as far as growing everything locally, like yourself, if you have even just the ability to throw a potato in the ground, you know, it's so easy to do that. And if you can keep from having to have potatoes transported to your store for even just that one purchase, it's accumulative. Wow, I gotta get my enunciation better here. It's accumulative. So it's everybody helping, and everybody helping a bit here and there, and just those benefits adding up over time. I think I'm finding these corners are a little bit odd. Just trying to pinch them into a T. So for those of you out there who are sewing, just a question pop into my head. What projects are you working on? I'm interested to see or to hear what everyone else out there is tinkering on as far as their sewing. So I've got these weird projects that I've got going on, my jeans, other clothes that you'll see eventually, and this blanket now. So what are you up to? Am I weird? I mean, I know I'm a little weird, but I just want to know if anybody else out there is doing stuff like this. In a previous episode, I encouraged everyone to have at least one piece of clothing that they can have for a long, long time and not, not worry too much if it's perfect. And I'm not like trying to encourage hobo chic or anything like that. I just want people to have clothes that they love. And that's the thing, it's all about joy, it's all about love. If you have a piece of clothing that you've had a long time, keep it going. Sew on it. Like, who cares if you don't sew it perfectly? Make a mistake with sewing, you can always redo it. But even better yet, just have something there, it doesn't matter. Like, I know this blanket isn't going to be perfect. And I think that's the beauty of it. Because now I can just sew and go and, use it later on and enjoy it for what it is. Didn't quite have enough thread there. I'm going to have to finish up this little thing here, and then we'll go back to the intersection. So what else can you do to affect climate change? You can start, and this doesn't have to be a big thing. This can just be a couple of your friends getting together once a month to talk about things. But start a local group with a focus on climate change and environmental change and what you can and want to do. And it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just if you have a few friends who are like-minded, if nothing else, it's a good excuse to get together and socialize. Or even these days, just have Zoom meetings and chat that way. It doesn't have to be a dedicated get-together day. It could be friends from around the world, doing a linked video chat. And if you can get together and chat and discuss things like so with Joe and what Joe's been talking about, and spread those ideas, further those ideas, and hear other ideas from other places, especially if you're talking to people from around the world, because, you know, on a local level, yes, there's only so much you can do. On an international level, it's amazing what's being done in the world. And if we can expand our focus a little bit outside of our own backyard, do the work in your own backyard, but also keep in mind that there is more life than that. And, someone has an idea in Australia, who knows, we might be able to use it here. That's the one good thing about the internet, but that's the thing, you don't have time to research tons of things, right? You watch So with Joe once a day, and that's a big chunk of time, and maybe that's all you can invest in looking up positive world news for that day, and that's, I'm glad you come here for it. Much appreciated. Just if you can get together with some friends and discuss other points of view, other things like that, then you can take what they've condense it down into whatever time you have with them, and you gain so much more knowledge in so much less time. Okay, let's try and figure out this corner. The neat thing is, in case you haven't noticed, I'm sitting on a patchwork blanket that was not made by me, so I can go in and check out, see what they did. This was all done with machine. Oh, and they just go straight across. Huh, okay, interesting. Nice to have a reference like that. I'm just going to try to flatten this down as much as I can. I'm just going to re-pin this because it's not quite sitting right. Flatten it out as best I can. Go. Sweet. Alright, what else can you do to influence climate change? Well, one of the biggest, most obvious ones. You need to model yourself on the Flintstones when it comes to your transportation. Talking foot power, pedal power, anything that you're providing the power input rather than a motor or an engine. Yes, there's a difference between a motor and an engine. Along the same note, you can keep yourself grounded, and by that I mean don't fly. So the fewer jets in the air, the less jet fuel is used. There's a lesson in the words fewer and less. If you don't know the difference, look it up, because that's annoying when people get it wrong. Some days I think my wife should start a definition and grammar channel. Because it's both a skill and a pet peeve of hers, and she'd probably do really well with it. Etiquette and grammar channel. Probably with a little bit of metal and anger mixed in, you know, on her part. She likes the all sorts of metal music. And we balance out nicely because I try to be calm. Which doesn't always work. Everybody has their days, and just remember, everybody's human. Even you. Imagine that. Even you are human and fallible. Fair viewer. If you're not human, leave a comment. I want to know what you are. If I've got ET phoning home and about so with Joe, that'd be pretty cool. It's just interesting to think that, like, the videos I'm putting up might be monitored someday, you know, if civilization ends and our data servers survive somehow. And whoever it may be comes along and discovers them. Oh, so will Joe. I wonder what this is about. And to those people I say, bleep, blop, blork, bazing. Or maybe not people, whoever they may be. Okay, back to the saving the environment. Focus on climate change. What can you do? And you're doing it right now. You can focus on the positive. Focus on positive things. Positive people make positive changes. And that's a fact. You have angry people, they don't care about anything. They're wrapped up in their own little world, and yeah. They're a whole lot less likely to think about that blue bin than throwing stuff on the ground. And going back to grow your own everything, if you are a person who imbibes in the marijuana, try growing your own. You know, if they don't have to bring in marijuana from other provinces and that sort of thing, you'll be saving that fuel. And because you'll have to buy, the things to do it, you'll be stimulating the economy that way. Your local hydroponics shops and whatnot will benefit. They must be doing well right now. Man. With Canada legalizing and allowing a lot of people to grow, the hydroponics shops must just be overwhelmed, I would think. The thing is, if you're going to do that, do your research. Anybody can grow marijuana. Very few people can consistently grow good marijuana. So do your research, don't waste your money on everything that you're buying, be smart about it. Another thing you can do to help with climate change is I wrote it down as thrift up your life. And by that I mean buy things secondhand. A lot of the times there's still a lot of life left in secondhand items, and then things don't have to be manufactured. They don't have to be manufactured, they don't have to be shipped. So that's your climate change right there, is not shipping tons of these things. And it's amazing how many people just throw out clothing. You get one little stain or a tiny tear or something like that. Clean it, fix it, live with it, Like, I don't know why people are so hung up on having fancy, shiny everything. Just be happy with what you have. And if you're not, find something that's better but still used. You save so incredibly much money and you help the environment. That's a win-win. And if you are one of those people that goes out and buys new clothes all the time, don't throw them away. Bring them to the thrift store so that other people can reuse them and love them. Probably way more than you did. So when I find a really quality piece of clothing at thrift, I really value that, Like Sarah, my wife, found me some Sean John jeans at thrift store. And the Sean John, I don't know what they sell for, probably like probably about $100 a pair. I don't even know. And they're just the most comfortable pair of jeans I have owned since the 90s. Like, aside from my jeans, those are the jeans. The pockets are long, legs are baggy, lots of room everywhere. They're the closest thing to 90s skate jeans that I've seen since the 90s. Speaking of Sarah. Hello. Revisit this corner a little bit. Just to kind of tighten it up. Nice tight stitch. Nothing like a nice tight stitch. Oh, and speaking of thrifting and sewing and fixing your things, there's an online site, and get this, it's called SwJ. Can't make this shit up. It's not mine, but it's SOJO, SwJ, and they do online clothing repair. I guess you ship it in and they fix it and ship it back, kind of thing. I didn't really look into it, so if you do, let me know what you think. If it's garbage, put it in the comments. If it's good, put it in the comments. Let me know. But yeah, SwJ, online clothing repairs, and I'll put it out there. If you want to sew with Joe, if you want me to repair some of your clothing, we can work out something. I've been unemployed for a long time, so if you have any clothing repairs you need that you want me to do on the channel, can't guarantee turnaround time, but if you want that done, let me know. Contact me. I have a lot of my own sewing projects. And what I would probably do is keep going with my own projects and then have that in addition to. So you'd still get to see my projects, and then you'd get to see someone else's project get done start to finish as well. So yeah, just a thought. Now, what's the last thing that you can do? Well, not the last thing. Another thing that you can do to help climate change go in the right direction? Vote. I know politics, I know voting. Find a party that supports the environmental issues that you support, and support them by voting. I know politics, it seems like it doesn't matter what you do. Maybe if someone would actually get a Green Party into power somewhere, you know, one person at a time, everybody's like, oh, my vote, you know, I don't want to throw my vote away on the Green Party. If enough people voted for them, and they would get in. That whole thing kind of scares me. I don't want to talk about politics on this channel, so I'm not going to any further than that. And if that bothered you, I'm sorry. But it is one thing that you can do. You do have the power to vote and have your voice heard that way. Alright, pulling some pins. Look at that. That's coming along. That is coming along. I like it. So now that I've got kind of a square, see that? But, now I might switch back over to my my jeans project. I've got some stuff I need to do on there. Let this be a little mini blankie for a little while. Just so my followers are aware, if you're still watching this far into the game, then you'll probably want to know. I might take a few days off over the next little while. Just a lot of family events and things coming up. So yeah, if I don't post, I'm sorry. I know, a lot of people are enjoying listening to me on the daily, and I really, really super appreciate that. I just still need to be able to take time for vacation and whatnot. And I know this whole thing is only about an hour out of my day, so I will post up if I have time. Just sometimes things are hectic. So, thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate the time we get to spend. A little bit of coffee. That's what Sarah brought me. Sarah brings me coffee and a cookie. Well, everyone, until next time, keep fit and have fun. Yeah. I knew I was going to do that one of these times. Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod. I don't know if you remember them, if you know them. It's one of those things. They're probably not world known, but their motto was keep fit and have fun. It was always, until next time, keep fit and have fun. So that pops into my head every once in a while when I do the until next time, keep chillin'. Don't forget your cookie. I will think of keep fit and have fun. And they're both good mottos. So, till next time, keep chillin'. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.